sheltered.
We're going to work with the Red Cross. The Red Cross has pretty good sheltering opportunities, and that's another problem. We are always working to develop new shelter opportunities so that we can mass shelter people in off-site, especially in 85-unit apartment building, even if that's just one person per unit. But we know many people are living as families in apartment units.
The cause of the fire is under investigation. A man from Milwaukee accused of running a sex slave ring returns to court today. Austin Cronster was originally charged in March with running an operation named, quote, House St. Pierre near 31st and State, where a criminal complaint alleges he forced women to wear collars and injected them with unknown substances. Last week, 6 new felony charges were filed against Cronster, including 3 counts of human trafficking. Multiple women have told police Cronster made them sign contracts requiring obedience and, quote, sex upon demand. Cronster's preliminary hearing will establish bail this morning. More Milwaukee public school students head to a new building today. Brown Street School is the latest MPS building to close for lead cleanup. Currently, MPS has 4 schools closed for lead cleanup in addition to Brown Street, including Starms Early Childhood Center, Lafayette School, and West Side Academy. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on the new 1017 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of a judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Like fade. It's Monday. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Had a nice long weekend. Had all the girls in for Mother's Day. 3 generations of lawlessness, craziness, and being the only male, I got, of course, excluded from everything. And I just got to sit around and watch while they ate up the food, broke out everything, took pictures, all that. Had a great time. It was a wonderful time, and yeah, it was good. Now it's hot. I don't know what I was thinking. Went to work at Concordia, and I'll be fine. I'll leave my jacket in the car. I'll leave it at home. I'll leave it. Looked at the thing. Oh, yeah, it's 81 degrees, 78 degrees. You know how you drive through the city, the temperature changes a little. Got to Concordia, 62. Wind was blowing. I'm like, yeah, this ain't. But I got to get used to it because I wanted the summer to come. And so now it's here. And It's not cool. But we're here. And graduations are all over the place. I got friends that are graduating. Did Marquette have their graduation already? I think they did. So, one of my frat brothers, a bunch of them graduated, and they was, I just graduated, I'm going home. Yeah. And so it's interesting. We all talk about how we don't have the ability and the capacity to complete things and do things. Those things that drive us. I talked about growing up, I always had that drive to go get degrees and go to school and graduate, get an advanced degree, work in that area. And I never really understood why. I never really understood what that was. And then I talked about the fact that my grandmother just instilled in all of us so that all the grandkids, all us, graduated from college with a 4-year degree or 2-year degree in some cases. But I always found it interesting that it's not really attaining the degree, it's the drive that it takes to finish, the drive that it takes to complete something that is really hard, really tough, and really takes some concerted effort. You know what I mean? Takes some intestinal fortitude. And the older I get, the less patience I have with people who say they can't. The less patience I have with people that say it's too late. I have one of those old sayings that says if you're alive and breathing, it's not too late. You should always save money. You should always look at those important things in your life that you wanted to complete that you never did. We should always do that. But for some reason, some of the people that I know, and it's anecdotal, there's no real data around it, but many of the people that I know and talk to that didn't finish a degree have what I call reasons, but what I really think in the back of my mind, it's an excuse. And it's an excuse because they didn't fail. Like, unless you get thrown out of school for grades, I can't really see a reason for you not finishing school, unless it has to do with money. I ran out of money. That's a reason. You could be a 4.0 student, but you ran out of money. You could be a C student, and you ran out of money. That's okay. I actually get it, right? I get it. But at some point, you have to finish. At some point, you have to step up and you have to get it done. And so every now and then when I hear of people saying they can't, I feel some kind of way about it. Because on Blavity.com, I came across a story this weekend about Patricia Sias Ellis. And nobody knows her name. From this point forward, everybody in America should know her name. Patricia Sias Ellis made her dream come true after not years, but decades of postponing her studies, the things we do in life. We graduate from high school, we put stuff on hold, we got to work, we raise a family, having children before we're married, having children when we're married, but too young, so you can't complete those things. Maybe even possibly, you ready for it? Getting married too soon, too early. Had to put her plans to pursue a higher education on hold, had to work, had to raise a family. But she told herself, I always knew I wasn't finished. Her son, her husband, both graduated from Morehouse College. And then her son suggested she pursue her dream. And so she enrolled at Atlanta Metropolitan State College before transferring to Clayton State. She started off by taking 1 or 2 classes at a time and just kept trudging along semester after semester doing the work. That's that tenacity and that resilience. Dr. George Lewis, the president of Clayton State University, says she lights up the room. When she crosses that stage, everyone is probably going to stand up because she's not hard to know. Last year, Patricia Sias Ellis underwent surgery after doctors found, are you ready for this? A 10-pound tumor on her kidney. But she kept pursuing her studies. And so the experiences we talk about, college graduates, folks in their mid-20s, early 30s, right? Times when I've been teased, why are you still in school? Aren't you too old to be still in school? Or even around here, teased about being older than everybody else. Which is kind of an oxymoron when you think about it, because I have more education than everybody else. And it's not something that's better or makes me better. It's something that I decided to achieve. And evidently so did Patricia Sias Ellis. So she went to Clayton State University. She just graduated. And so when I hear people complain about what they can and can't do, when I hear people complain, oh, it's too hard, I can't do it, it's too much. Patricia Sias Ellis was 79 years old last weekend when she walked across the stage to receive her bachelor's degree in criminal justice. And so we say we can't do it. We say we can't make it. We say it's out of our grasp. But even if you go back to when the Divine Nine were in school, these weren't youngsters. I was explaining to somebody the other day. Some of the members and founders of Alpha Phi Alpha at Cornell University in Ithaca, New York, in 1905 were in their early 30s. They had to work, go to school, work, go to school. Some were older, some were younger. We're losing that. But this is for those who have that inkling, to have that drive. They don't know where it comes from, but they've always been driven and always been pushed to go to school. My suggestion to you is if you're 78 years old or younger, you probably should not let Patricia Sias Ellis beat you. It took her decades. She watched the people around her who she know and love, son, husband, graduate from Morehouse while she worked, like many of us do, raised the family, like many of us do, and watched her dream be deferred. What I want to share with you is if you think you can't make it, it's not true. If you think it's too late, it's not right. But if you think you can't finish, you a lie.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 101.7 The Truth.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Who's looking for a better deal? Well, Cousin Sub's $10 meal deals just got better. Available online only. Order your 7.5-inch meal deal today and upgrade it with a large fountain beverage, large fry, regular shake, or regular Wisconsin cheese curds. Prices vary by item from $1 to $2 a piece. Make it better and make it your own way. Now that's a better deal. For further details or to order, go to cousinsubs.com or on the mobile app. Cousin Subs. We believe in better. Available online at participating locations only. Offer subject to change without notice.
Hi, I'm attorney David Gruber. After an accident, you need a trusted winning team on your side. For more than 30 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped Wisconsin families get the results they deserve. If you've been injured, call our firm today for a free consultation. We're available 24/7. Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
What are some of the things that we need to really focus on to get our fair share of these opportunities, i.e. access to capital?
You know, it's very important to always think about building a strong business plan, understanding the financial parameters around what you're trying to accomplish, building great networks and great relationships so you can have partnerships and building out your dream. And then finding a good financial partner like Old National to help really orchestrate your vision of the organization. And then, as you know, DT, you wouldn't be where you're at because you're phenomenal, doing great work. And then you have to really have to go to work. If you have that dream, you have that vision, the business plan, the financial piece, then you have to really work at it and keep building.
Learn more about the Old National Bank Small Business Empowerment Loan by visiting oldnational.com/small business or contact a small business banker at Old National Bank.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Hey, what size do you wear? Extra large?
In shirts or sweatshirts?
Yeah, sweatshirts, stuff like that. Extra large?
Extra large.
Okay, good. Break into his house and steal that Brewers hoodie. Where's my hoodie? I had my... Why was my front window open? Yep. That was me. You probably live on like the 19th floor or something. I'm going to climb up the wall.
16.
Same thing. Let me see. I got to have some money to bribe people. I got to break into the... Okay. All right, I'm good. They're going to be like, Dr. Ken, that's a cold Brewers. I was like, yeah, I know. Somebody gave it to me. Right. That means you stole it, right? Yeah. Well, at least he knows, right? When it disappears, he'll be... Yeah, it'll just be around there. 833-212-1017 is the number. If you've never finished your degree, finished college, are you ready to go? You got all summer to register, to figure out what you want to do, to go take some tests, see what you're good at, see what you're bad at, and then do it. I'm just saying. Anybody brave enough to anybody who hasn't finished and now wants to finish and just needs to take that first step? Give me a call, 833-212-1017. Tell me what your issue is. Let's discuss it. Let's kick it around. Let's figure out. We got Truth Nation here. We can figure out what it is you need to do. All the graduations are over and everything's done and you got nothing. Oh, the semester started already. Oh, it's not. You got till August to figure out what it is you need to do. It is 68 degrees. Tonight it's going to be a chilly 56 3, so I'm not really looking forward to that, but, you know. But I got the fire pit. I get to sit outside, chill, put a brand new Brewers hoodie on and, you know, sit by the fire. Humidity is at 42%. Visibility 10 miles an hour. Light wind at 8 miles per hour. Of course, at the bottom of the hour, we got traffic and weather and sports coming up for you. But I'm still stuck on Patricia Ellis, 79 years old. Had to work her way through a 10-pound tumor on her kidney, made it, got through, and graduated Clayton State University. That makes it hard to listen to people to complain about finishing something. Oh, I'm in debt. Been there. Oh, I can't make it. I got to pay back these school loans. Been there. But on the other side of that, I had to work basically 30 years in law enforcement and higher education in order to get it paid off. Miles said, I was in that boat back in I'm kidding. In 2018, and it took me 5 years to get out of it, and now I'm on my second Master of Science. Now, here's where I would like to make a suggestion. Now, it didn't take you 5 years. You finished in 5 years. Like there's no set time. Okay, you got to finish your degree in 4 years. And I watch these students, I got to finish in 4 years. I got to, like, why do you keep comparing yourself to your peers while they're secretly terrified they can't finish in 4 years? Who cares if you finish in 4 years? Take 5, take 6. I went to the University of Illinois, Chicago from 1978 to 1981, transferred to Illinois State, went from 1981 to 1984. Total of 6 years. I don't care. When I thought I was going to have trouble in the class, I dropped it, and I was part-time for X amount until I finished. Sometimes I took 18 credits, sometimes I took 15 credits, sometimes I took 12. Only at the University of Illinois, I believe, that I dropped below 12 and went part-time because I was at a commuter school, and it was very difficult to get up and go to school every day. And that's the issue I have with UWM. Unless I'm going to be able to stay on campus, that's me, right? Other people thrive in that arena. That's okay. Do you. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Stop looking at what other people do and can't do. If the only thing you want to do is a bachelor's degree, then do a bachelor's degree. If you want to get a master's, get a master's. But do what is right for you, not what other people think you should do. Because in the long run, the only person that has to live with it is you. And I'm going to tell you, you know what's worse than living with debt? You know what's worse than $100,000 of debt? Regret. Sitting in your 60s or 70s or 80s, wishing I coulda. And Patricia Sias Ellis was there and said, nope, I'm going to do this. And her son and her husband said, what are you doing? What are you waiting for? But when you're in your own world, you don't notice. You think that other people are doing what they wanted to do because that's what they chose to do, when in fact they have a secret longing, a secret yearning to have what you have. And sometimes it just takes the courage to step up and go, hey, you got that? How did you get that? I want to get that. Because we don't like to look like we don't know something. I don't know. I don't know. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. We tend to give up on ourselves. We forget that somebody else did it before us. Melissa said, I ran out of money and now I'm paying out of pocket, but I'm still attempting until I cross the finish line. Okay. So, Melissa, change one word. Because what we do and how we talk to ourselves is everything. Self-talk defeats you. I mean, all things being equal, unless you have a chemical imbalance or there's an issue with mental health, all that. All things being equal, our self-talk can destroy us, talk us out of everything. Not expecting the fact that when fear comes, it's supposed to be there. Fear makes you slow down, stop, make sure you calculate, get everything right, have I made the proper decisions, all that. Ask questions. But don't say you're doing things. When people say, I have no fear, that is a dangerous person. Every day I come here, I think to myself, am I going to get it right? Am I going to say something wrong? Are we going to have to hit the dump switch because I said something? Are we going to have, like, all those things run through my mind at about 150 miles an hour, 30 seconds, while I'm watching the opening theme tick down to 30. And Glenn caught me in mid-thought because he started fading before it normally fades. And I was using that last 10 seconds to be, all right, you got this, let's do it. And get myself jazzed up because it's the positive self-talk. But most people don't. But then when he started fading, I had to what? Do I just sit here like talking to him? Or do I go, hey, got to jump in? And that's where the courage comes in. So you got to drop this attempting. I'm still attempting until I finish the cross line. But I'm moving forward. I'm doing. I'm going. I'm taking class. Make that all positive. Because I'm telling you, hey, Glenn, can you meet me at 6:30 tonight? I'm going to try. That means no. Like, what does that even mean? I'm going to try. I'm going to try. I'm going to try. Oh, okay. No, that means you're not going to be there. So when people tell me that, hey, I'm going to try, you know what I go? I go, okay. And I do not expect them. And then they show up, oh, you shocked them here. Well, yeah, because you said you try. And most people that try fail. Most people that finish got deterred. Most people that finish had road bumps, not failure. Failure is when you cannot. For me, I died. Oh, he didn't finish that? No, what did he do? He died. Like, I planned to die doing something. Oh, yeah, he had like 6 projects and 12 books, and he wrote 9 articles, and he was on the radio every day, and he had a podcast, and he was this, and he died. Working, doing, growing. Like this summer, I got to do my house. I treated one part of the yard. I treated the back, and then I cut it. Now I got to treat the front after I cut it, right? Because I cut one and I treated one. So if you treat or cut, you got to wait like 3 days before you can put treatment on it or cut it. So I said, this is going to drive me crazy, and I don't feel like doing both of my yard because my front yard and backyard is way too big. So I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut the back and I'm going to cut the front and treat the back. And now the grass has got to be like this long. It's literally like a foot and a half, 2 feet long. But I treated it. The front, I cut. Now, I did that Friday. Yeah, I did that Friday. Now it's Monday. I got to cut the back when I go home. And I got to treat the front. But then I got to water it to make sure it takes. That's my house. I got that going all summer long. I am not looking forward to it. I got to start working on my basement. I want to put a patio out back. I got a lot of stuff I want to do. Unfortunately, now, I don't need windows, but you might need windows. And if you do, you need to check out Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. It is 78 degrees. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors. I mean, like right now, because Pella's offering up to 6 years of 0% financing. I had a window fixed in the winter because it got broke, and I had to get it fixed. There is nothing in your life like waiting while a window gets fixed when it's like 14 degrees. It's dumb. Get it done now. I mean, Pella's got 0% financing up to 6 years. All you have to do is set your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point. They listen to your vision. This is what I want. This is the color. This is where I want it. This is how I want it to look. They suggest Pella materials, Pella customizations to make it a reality. Like, it's pretty much that's it. It's really simple. Get 0% finance for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply. Deal ends May 31st. So you got about 15, 16, 17, about 18 days, 19 days, and then you miss the 0% financing. That's all you got to do. How you do that? Go to PellaWI.com. That's PellaWI.com. And now with 101.7 The Truth Traffic, here's Debbie Lassica.
And things are moving along a bit slowly. Southbound 43 from Capitol Drive, pretty much all the way down through the Marquette, down towards Lincoln. The northbound side slowing from about Kilbourne up to Keefe. Westbound 94 heavy out of the Marquette, all the way to about Mitchell Boulevard. Then we've got a broken down vehicle on 894 heading on the eastbound side, just about at 76th Street. That's tightening things up a little bit back through the Hale interchange to that point. And checking the TMJ4 storm team forecast tonight, partly cloudy skies, a few showers later on, a low of 52. Tomorrow, scattered showers, mostly cloudy with a high of 65 at the lake, 74 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Laziga on 101.7 The Truth.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With limited incomes not keeping up with the lingering effects of inflation, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
Sponsored by the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund. Experience some of the most cherished popular music of all time when the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra presents Let's Groove Tonight, Motown and the Philly Sound, May 23rd through the 25th at the Bradley Symphony Center. Byron Stripling will lead the MSO and an exciting trio of vocalists that include Broadway superstar Chester Gregory, Ashley J., and Brick Liam in a musical sojourn of hits made famous by legendary talents such as Lou Rawls, Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross, and The Temptations. Songs like My Girl, I Heard It Through the Grapevine, and I'm Coming Out will come alive in fun and stylish arrangements that are sure to have you dancing and humming along in your seat. Let's Groove Tonight, Motown and the Philly Sound runs May 23rd through the 25th only. So lock up your tickets right now by calling the box office at 414-291-7605 or visit mso.org.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom! I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. Feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
This is Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth. It's powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Sneib. After losing the first two games of the series in Tampa Bay against the Rays, the Milwaukee Brewers are able to bounce back on Sunday, winning Game 3, this one by a final score of 4-2.
I mean, this environment is tough. Threatening rain all the time. The mound's rugged. It's just a different environment than they're used to. So I'm proud we're in every game.
Over to the NBA, where ESPN's Shams Charania are reporting that no firm decisions have been made, but for the first time in his career, Giannis is, quote, open-minded about whether his best fit is remaining in Milwaukee or playing elsewhere.
He is the biggest domino in the NBA right now. He's a 30-year-old in the prime of his career, and his potential availability is something that all 29 teams outside of Milwaukee are monitoring.
Also around the NBA, the Pacers taking a 3-1 lead over the Cavs with a 129-109 win, and the Thunder evening up their series against Denver, winning 92-87. The Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Did you hear about that fire from CBS 58? 5 dead, others critically hurt in an apartment fire on 27th and Highland. I remember that apartment. It is in District 3. And I remember going there on numerous occasions, and issues that were going on with that particular building, all the drama. So some stuff, well, if you haven't heard, I know Rhea Riley talked about it during the news, and if she didn't, 5 are dead, others critically hurt in an apartment fire. That happened on Mother's Day. Chief Lipsky, the Milwaukee fire chief, said that he was saddened to learn a 5th person, he said on X, from yesterday's fire on 27th and Highland has died as a result of the fire. The person has been transported to an area hospital by a paramedic unit, and despite all efforts, perished. Prayers to the families and friends of the loss. Sunday morning, May 11th. People were jumping out of the building, jumping off the 4th floor. Flames tore through the Highland Court apartment complex. People broke windows, tied bed sheets together to escape the fire. People lost their pets. They lost everything. That came from Emerald Gransberry, a Highland Court resident. When I opened the door, the whole hallway was full of flames. He says his whole apartment filled with black smoke. Said, I never made it out of the apartment. I was rescued from the bedroom window. Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky says the 85-unit apartment complex was built in 1968. You ready for this? Before sprinkler systems were required by law. You make absolutely no mistake that dramatically impacts the survivability in this building once a fire starts. If I remember correctly, fire doubles every 30 seconds. And so for the minute and a half, the corner of your room is now your entire room. One apartment becomes 2. 2 apartments becomes 4. 4 becomes 8. 8 becomes 16. 16, 32, 32, 64. And less than, a minute later, all 85. And what do? You can take control of your environment, your apartment. Make sure you have smoke detectors. But when it's outside of your apartment and outside of your smoke detectors, then what? What do? 20 fire units, 8 ladder trucks responded, including Wauwatosa and West Dallas. They believe the fire started in a common area on the 3rd floor. But something Chief Lipsky said, the speed at which these alarms are transmitted is indicative of the seriousness of the situation. The entire building is completely uninhabitable. Hundreds of people don't have a house. Because if you average two, look at this. If you average one person per apartment, that's 85. Two, you're done. 170 people. They're still investigating. It is the summertime. Of course, the American Red Cross of Wisconsin is helping those who were displaced by fire. But it's summertime. This is one. It's just one. What happens next time? What if it had been the winter? You know, usually we hear about these things during the winter. You know, we warn people not to burn matter indoors. We warn people not to use their stove as a heating. You know, all those dangerous things that the pilot light fluffs out, and now all of a sudden you've got gas. Like, do people still understand gas is odorless and that they put the smell into gas so that you'll know there's a leak? That rotten egg smell, they put it in there so you'll know there's a leak. It's a silent killer. I guess fire is too. That is unfortunate. We'll be, we'll have thoughts and prayers for the families that were displaced and the people who lost their lives. Abstract, how did the fire spread that fast without people noticing? It was at night. People were asleep. And hang on, let me check. Live radio. Does fire... How... Let me see. Okay. A house fire. Because it gave me wildfires. A small fire can double in size every 30 seconds. A house, just a regular house, 3 to 5 minutes. 3 to 5 minutes, the entire house can be fully engulfed. In the initial stages, within the first 30 seconds, a fire can ignite and grow. 1 to 2 minutes, the fire can spread from the initial point of ignition to smoke begins to fill the room. 2 to 4 minutes, a fire can escalate rapidly, potentially leading to flashover where everything in the room ignites at once. And then within 4 to 5 minutes, the entire house. So if it's in a common area and you get 365 degrees of openness and air feeding it, it went everywhere. And it spread that fast. 5 minutes, whole house. This might have taken, 10? But you're talking 85 people, where smoke is going to get there first, then fire. It's unfortunate. We try to look for reasons, why did this happen, and who started this, and who, but you gotta, this is just me, I think you gotta kind of look back at some things. Like, number one, who owned the apartments? Who owned an 85-unit apartment that was probably kept up to minimum code? It had to have, because I'm sure it was inspected by the city. Why were there no sprinklers? Because it was born. Well, technically the building was born. It was built prior to a certain time when you didn't need sprinklers, and so they grandfathered buildings in. The other question is, was there insurance? Because you can't go after the building owner's insurance. The building owner's insurance rebuilds the building. The building owner's insurance repairs the building. Now, is there some kind of way that now that they got to rebuild, you can say, hey, by the way, you need a sprinkler system or some type of escape system, something. And that's why I tell everybody, apartment dwellers insurance or homeowners insurance is I believe more important to pay first than your mortgage. Because at least if you lose it, it gets paid for. But everything in your apartment that you lost, if you don't have apartment insurance, the building owner is not going to replace it because it is not covered. Once you lease that apartment, its contents are yours. If your stuff burns up, you have to have insurance for it. And that's unfortunate because, quite frankly, the entire building is gone. And how do we fix that? But then I was trying to find a reason for it. Well, it must be summer.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
What's going on, Truth Nation? It's your girl DT from Truth Unfiltered with Dr. Ken, reminding you to check out my interview with Old National Bank Senior Vice President Tracy Meeks this Monday night. We're going to be discussing Old National Bank's Empowerment Loan Program, why it was created, how it's different from traditional bank programs, and how this program can positively impact Black and Brown-owned businesses and communities. It's information you definitely are going to want to get educated on, so don't miss my one-on-one with Tracy this Monday night on Truth Unfiltered on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
It's 1017 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now because you can get up to 6 years of 0% financing at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Yes, no interest for up to 72 months and the full Pella experience is always included. That means the Pella team is with you from start to finish. They don't disappear after the work is done. Set up your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point. A Pella design expert will listen to your vision and then present the different colors, sizes, and customizations needed to make that vision a reality. It can feel overwhelming to consider what feels like limitless possibilities, but Pella's design team can help narrow those options down for you to create that dream upgrade. Hurry! Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends May 31st, 2025. So visit PellaWI.com today.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great Impressions, perceptions, everything.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. So not really a city girl put a comment in the chat that I'm not going to repeat because no one knows. No one knows. Let's get an investigation going, and they'll be able to figure out where it started and how it started and probably who started it. Because we love to talk. We love to talk. Somebody gonna say something. And somebody gonna be on the, hey, you got the number to the tip line? Let me call. Hey, let me get my 500,000, whatever. So watch this. I wonder, will there be a tip line for this? Yeah, we can't figure out who started it. Can we have somebody call, the tip line and give us information, and you get a reward if it pans out and the person gets convicted, all that. Because I'm gonna be like, yep, Glenn did it. Glenn was over there. I'm getting my $1,000. It'll probably be up to 5 because 5 people died. 5 people died. But when it happens in the suburb, we have a $50,000 reward. Happens in the city of Milwaukee. Oh, we got a $10,000. We got a $5,000 reward. Really? Really? I guess us being victims isn't as important as suburbanites being victims of crimes. Okay. All right. Yes, I'm still on that tip. The whole suburban city thing. I love the suburbs. I love the city. So, but you know what I heard? Yeah, there was no MPS news over the weekend or today. And that's good. Sounds like they're doing some great things. I didn't hear any big backlash from, hey, we're moving these jobs and moving them back into the class. I didn't hear anybody complaining about that. I know some people were kind of salty. I know they was upset. Wait a minute. You mean I can't work in an air-conditioned office? No, you're a teacher. You need to go back to teach. And you need to reapply for your job. I can get with that. I understand that. I get it. You know why? Because it's equitable. There's that word again. It's equitable. See, I have to pick some topics to make it short because I don't want to stay on it too long. But here's my question. Does anybody have anybody in their family, I'm talking to black people, who kind of follows that voodoo, hoodoo type stuff, that belief about certain things, the throwing salt over your shoulder and not stepping on cracks? Did you just laugh? Was that funny to you? Why is that funny? Glenn is cracking up. Who does that idiotic stuff? No, seriously. I know you got people in your family that have done stuff like that.
I have no one in my family that's superstitious.
Are you serious? I think somebody's fibbing to you, dude. They just don't tell you. I do not know anybody in any black family that is not super. I am even superstitious about some things.
The only thing that I could think of is I put my socks on the same foot in the same order every day.
But do you do it for a reason?
No, that's the thing. It's just I'm just a creature of habit. I don't believe it has anything to do with superstition.
So you put sock, shoe, or sock, shoe?
Sock, shoe.
Okay. I'm just saying. Some things I am superstitious about. Numbers, especially. I'm a even type guy. If there's 1, there's 2. If I do this, I do that. If I eat something, I gotta have 2 of it. Why is that funny?
So if you go to a fast food restaurant, do you get 2 burgers always and 2 fries?
Yes. But I don't eat at fast food restaurants, so I don't have that problem. But when I do eat, right, I'll get a smaller steak and get 2 of them. If I eat asparagus, and I love asparagus, It's bad because places I go eat know I like asparagus. I know you want the asparagus, right? Yes. Okay. Like I gotta have an even number.
So you would request 10 sprigs of asparagus.
10 or 8, even 6, but not 3, not 7, not 9. I stay away from prime numbers.
That is a peculiar habit.
Yes, it is. But I admit it. There's some hoodoo and some voodoo that's kind of swept into, like sometimes I'm in church and I watch people do things and I'm thinking to myself, that is strictly cultural. Ain't got nothing to do with church, ain't got nothing to do with the Bible, ain't got nothing to do with it's just one of those cultural things that black people do. It's the same as putting the statue in your yard upside down if you want to sell your house. Like, yeah, there are a lot of things in the Catholic Church that occur too. It's just one of those things. Anybody do that? 833-212-1017 is the number. I'll talk to you in the 5 o'clock hour. I don't even know what to call it. Habits, superstitions do you have in your family that have gone from generation to generation? Like, I look at the habits I have and the habits my children have, and I go, yep, they got that from me. And then they got some new habits. I'm like, no, you didn't get that from me. You didn't get that from me. Must be your mama. Must be somebody else. But there's some really, salt over the shoulder, not walking on cracks, splitting a pole, stuff like that. I'm just saying. Must be Monday. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Top 5 at 5 and all the superstition and voodoo and hoodoo you want.
Here at the new 1017 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's Black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection of our community. We look forward to celebrating Black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 1017 The Truth, founded by Gruber Law Offices, Milwaukee Black Talk.
This is Sherwin Hughes from The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. And Truth Nation, you can now watch my show live on YouTube every day from 9 a.m. until noon. Yep, you can get 3 full hours of watching Sherwin doing his thing streaming live on YouTube Monday through Friday. You'll get the same insightful conversations about policy, politics, and lifestyle while also seeing my reaction to the unpredictability of our listeners. So go to YouTube right now and subscribe to 1017 The Truth and see this wonderful smile live every day.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
Nathan has taught me to embrace the moment. Age-wise, I'm in my late 60s. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Will he be embarrassed to acknowledge me as his dad? I think the most important thing we can do is let them know that they're safe, that they're valued and cared for and loved, and that they're important.
I knew I wanted to be adopted by him because of how he taught me to be the person who I am today. And it's coming from a dad that didn't expect to become a dad. And I feel very proud to be his son.
I was what he needed, and he was what I needed. Every day is full of new opportunities. That's what it's been about, realizing the simple things that it takes to make such a huge difference in these kids' lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Communities in Southern California urgently need our help. The Los Angeles wildfires have been some of the most destructive in state history. Thousands of homes destroyed, schools, classrooms, libraries, museums, places of worship, all lost, and livelihoods ruined. With so much devastation, students, families, businesses, and communities are now left struggling to recover. And that road to recovery will be a very long and a very difficult one. But there is hope. The SoCal Fire Fund provides immediate, free, and long-term support for countless community-centered recovery programs. You can be a part of providing those most impacted with the resources they need to move forward. So please, Visit SoCalFireFund.org to learn more about how you can join in this tremendous effort.
Listen to the man who tells you exactly how he sees it. The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is your 101.7 The Truth News Update.
Hello, everyone. This is Ray Riley with your news update. A deadly apartment fire in Milwaukee's Concordia neighborhood has left 4 people dead. Flames broke out just before 8 a.m. Sunday near 27th and Highland Boulevard. The building was heavily damaged, leaving many residents displaced. Milwaukee Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky says what must be done to get these residents sheltered.
We're going to work with the Red Cross. The Red Cross has pretty good sheltering opportunities. And that's another problem. We are always working to develop new shelter opportunities so that we can mass shelter people in off-site, especially an 85-unit apartment building, even if that's just one person per unit. But we know many people are living as families in apartment units.
The cause of the fire is under investigation. A man from Milwaukee accused of running a sex slave ring returns to court today. Austin Cronster was originally charged in March with running an operation named, quote, House St. Pierre near 31st and State, where a criminal complaint alleges he forced women to wear collars and injected them with unknown substances. Last week, 6 new felony charges were filed against Cronster, including 3 counts of human trafficking. Multiple women have told police Cronster made them sign contracts requiring obedience and, quote, sex upon demand. Cronster's preliminary hearing will establish bail this morning. More Milwaukee Public School students head to a new building today. Brown Street School is the latest MPS building to close for lead cleanup. Currently, MPS has 4 schools closed for lead cleanup in addition to Brown Street, including Starms Early Childhood Center, Lafayette School, and West Side Academy. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris continues on the new 101.7 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of adjustment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Regarding that 5-alarm fire, they're saying that they heard arguing by neighbors. They heard arguing and then the fire broke out. So, I don't know. We'll see. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives is on scene doing an investigation along with the MFD and MPD. So, probably the state fire marshal as well. So, he picked the wrong time of the year to do that. 85 apartments, 5 people dead. That is unfortunate. But before I get to my top 5 at 5, of course, I got to talk about, because, Glenn was so shocked. I cannot believe you. Oh, superstition. No one in my... I guarantee you, you check with your grandparents, great-grandparents, any of their children, your parents, they'll be like, oh, yeah, well, so-and-so from so-and-so. They'll claim at least one. But then you start asking them, say, so what do you, or you'll ask them, like, do you do such and such? They'll be like, no. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why not? Well, I just don't like that. Mine run pretty deep because of my grandmother being from Alabama and family being from Benin. I admit that. You know, there were some practices between there, Beninois, and here, and, you know, so it just kind of carried over. Friday the 13th is an unlucky day. These are some things that black people believe. Is Friday the 13th an unlucky day?
No.
So I'm going somewhere this year, and I was going to fly on a Friday, and then I looked and saw it was the 13th. I'm flying on Wednesday.
I've never understood removing 13 from buildings as well.
Did nobody ask you? Because you're too young, right? But, say that again.
I've never understood the purpose of removing the number 13 from buildings.
Me either. But have you been in hotels where there's a 12th floor and a 14th floor?
The apartment building I grew up in New York, we did not have a 13th floor.
There you go. Smart people. See, young people, I'll just be quiet and just go with it. But now that y'all adults, y'all be like, hey, excuse me. Now, what you were really saying, Glenn, in a smart, articulate way, that's stupid, right? That's why I said, did anybody ask you? Because I kind of do this. I kind of avoid the 13th. Ladies, don't put your pocketbook on the ground or else you'll go broke. You ever seen your mother put her pocketbook? Or a woman in your life put their purse, pocketbook, wallet, anything on the ground, ever?
To tie their shoe, yes.
You watched your mother tie her shoe. You didn't tie it for her? No, okay, I'm just kidding. But, I mean, really. That's a big no-no. Go to church, you'll never find a purse on the floor. So the other day, I'm sitting in church. My wife... I don't know what it is with women in purses. It's just one of those things. We'll shove the purse between us in the seat. She got up. I took the purse, sat it on the floor. Oh, I got room. It's in between. I can sit comfortable. Came back, picked up the purse, put it right back. Like, no, it goes here. Like, oh, okay. But was born in Mississippi, so I rest my case. Splitting poles while walking is bad luck. And if anybody got any, 833-212-1017. Splitting poles while you're walking. I don't do that. Break a mirror, you get 7 years of bad luck. I must have had 7 decades of bad luck because I done broke a lot of mirrors. I have. Step on a crack, break your mother's back. You don't have to be so dismissive. I mean, you know. Here's one that my grandmother taught me. If your palms itch, you're about to make some money moves. Itchy palms. Have you heard that one before? You look like you didn't heard that.
I've heard that before.
Okay. If your ears are burning, somebody's talking about you. What about black cats? Bad luck?
I feel like they do the same thing other cats do. I don't know why that would be any different.
Always be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Wow. I've never heard this one before. If a man gifts shoes... Okay, let me get this right. If you give shoes to a man, he'll walk right out of your life. That one makes no sense.
The opposite has happened to me, and case in point, I don't talk to that girl anymore.
Can't get rid of them?
Well, no, I was going to buy her shoes as a Christmas present. She told me not to. I did anyways, and now, you know.
Wow. Because she don't want to put them on and be reminded of you every day, huh? Okay.
She probably still wear them.
Leaving a hat on a bed leads to an argument before the end of the day. I ain't never heard that one before. Now, this one I have heard, and this is probably the most provocative one. cutting a baby's hair before their first birthday is bad luck. I hear mothers tell all that, let it grow. Well, we need to let it grow until you can't cut a baby's hair until they're a year old. And I never knew why. They claim cutting a baby's hair before their first birthday could permanently damage their curl pattern or hair texture. Others think it could actually invite bad luck. Sweeping over somebody's feet could bring them bad luck. Oh, here was one back when we had the old Ma Bell, right? Don't talk on the telephone during a thunder and lightning storm. You could get electrocuted. I mean, think about that. Lightning strikes 6 miles away. It travels all the way through the phone, finds you on the phone, and it's just weird. Never understood that. But then again, well, yes, it is kind of weird.
Number 5.
From CBS 58, the Supreme Court will hear a case over citizen birthright this week and has been acting less like a group of people seeking consensus and more like 9 justices clinging to their own interests. Ruptures have occurred, or should I say ruptures? Well, probably that too. Have occurred in litigation arising from President Donald Trump's effort to transform the federal government and remake America. But more broadly, the fractured court has been evident in the justices' separate opinions, behavior on the bench, and public appearances. Justices have increasingly gone their own way in memoirs and books, too, and as a result, the court may be less inclined to speak with one voice. The riven justices could, as the country hurls toward a possible constitutional showdown, risk appearing like yet another set of political actors, unable to meet head-on threats to the rule of law. So I've always been outspoken. Birthright citizenship is in the Constitution. It should stay in the Constitution. If you're born here, you should be able to stay here. Now, you need to figure out what that means as it relates to your child being taken care of if your parents are not citizens. And yes, it causes some issues. Yes, it does. It causes it. But now the Supreme Court is pretty divided, and we'll have to see how that goes.
Number 4.
Well, we'll have cheaper drugs. Maybe. Kind of, sort of. President Donald Trump signed a sweeping executive order today that promises to crack down on unreasonable or discriminatory practices by foreign countries that result in Americans paying far higher costs for prescription drugs. Starting today, the United States will no longer subsidize the health care of foreign countries, which is what we were doing. They claim it could lower drug prices by as much as 90%. As drug makers must start offering U.S. patients the lowest price paid for a drug in a peer country, known as the most favored nation price, or face consequences, the president said. He directed the Department of Health and Human Services to come up with price targets within 30 days. And so what happens, Big Pharma has pretty much given money to everybody in Congress, Republicans and Democrats, including the president. And so what happens is they make all their money here, you know, like Ozempic and I forget the one, Wegovy, you know, all those. Oh, we use this for, you know, diabetes or something, and it actually loses weight. Oh, we'll use this. So what they'll do is in other foreign countries, they're paying, say, for Ozempic, and I'm giving numbers, but all of them are under $100 a month. Like some people go get it, $83. In Germany, $59. In America, $1,000. Why? Because we continue to get punked. Well, we need to push it out, and we need, development. I'm like, time out. You already developed this drug. It's already made, and you know how to make it. You've already tested its virility. You already know that it works. You know all the side effects. All you have to do is manufacture more. You don't need more research and development to manufacture something you already have. So you have companies like Pfizer who made $15 billion profit when in fact, hopefully, you could pass some of that cost on to the people here in America because, well, you know, people punk America. And that's what the tariffs are all about. We've been overpaying for decades for no reason, just to make Big Pharma rich. But if I can be in, and the thing about it, Senator Bernie Sanders agrees. If I can be in England and pay for a drug that's literally 85 to 90% cheaper than it is here, why is that? Why? There's absolutely no reason. There's no reason why we pay this much money. It just doesn't make any sense. And the company that makes it is from the Netherlands. So they gouge America. But they don't gouge their neighbor, like Germany, England, Switzerland. I think it's time that we start telling people we're not going to pay that. And if you're on, God forbid, a fixed income, why is the government paying for that? Well, the same reason people bill the government for everything. Well, they'll pay more. And I woke up this morning, and in our next story, the thing that disturbed me is I said, it's been quiet. And then I look, and another kid shot.
Number 3.
From WISN.com, a 3-year-old was shot near 34th and Hour in Milwaukee's Roosevelt Grove neighborhood. Officers were called to the area. Police say a toddler, 3-year-old, was shot and rushed to the hospital for treatment. No arrests have been made. Anyone with information is urged to contact Milwaukee Police Department at 414-935-7360. You can call Crime Stoppers at 414-224-TIPS. And you'll remain anonymous. 3-year-old injured in a shooting, 34th and Hour, just before 11 o'clock. Why? How? And as if that's not enough.
Number 2.
Fox6now.com is reporting one person is dead, one person is arrested, and multiple people injured in a multiple vehicle crash in Milwaukee late Saturday night, May 10th. Family members identified the woman who died in the wreck as 55-year-old Tanya Missouri Smith. She was the mother and wife, and many in the community knew Missouri Smith because her family owns May Velma's Corned Beef, which is less than a block away from the crash site. Missouri Smith's son was also in the car. So what we know from Fox6now.com is, according to the Milwaukee Police Department, just before midnight, a vehicle was doing what? Speeding in the area of 76 and Marion when it crashed into a second vehicle that had 2 people in it, Missouri Smith and her son. Police say a 32-year-old woman was speeding, hit the car with 2 people in it. The force of that crash pushed her car into a parked car where someone was sitting in it. Officials say she died, and her 18-year-old son was also in the vehicle. Nikki Sanders, who heard the crash and ran to help, said his Mother's Day will never be the same for that young man, him having to witness that. He kept crying that his mom was trapped, and then I realized somebody was actually in there. My neighbor was like, does anybody know CPR? And I was like, well, me. Let me see what I can do. That's unfortunate. 2 other people were hurt, the speeding driver and the 28-year-old who was parked in a car. And 32-year-old speeding driver was taken into custody, and the case will be presented to the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office in the coming days. And, of course, if you have any additional information, contact Milwaukee Police at 414-935-7360. That's unfortunate. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-7360. 414-935-73 But it's summer. It's warm. And so I guess they say, nothing good happens after 10 o'clock at night. At this point, nothing good happens after 10 a.m. in the morning. And then we get to my number one story.
Number one.
Well, I guess Diddy ain't singing Diddy no more. He might be singing Diddley in a few. Today was day one of Sean Combs' trial. He faces sex crime charges on a federal trial. And today, prosecutors kicked off opening arguments in an attempt to convince the jury that the hip-hop mogul was a controlling abuser who expected everyone around him to treat him like a king. His alleged crime enterprise. Prosecutor Emily Johnson started her opening argument painting a picture of Combs as a larger-than-life celebrity who used his inner circle of acquaintances to help him commit crime after crime. Together, the group worked to promote the defendant's power. They carefully cultivated and guarded his reputation over 20 years. Then they called him the king. Diddy called himself the king, that's what Johnson says, and expected to be treated like one. To ensure this, Johnson claims he used that inner circle to help him cater to his sexual desires. Those desires allegedly led Combs to exploit sexually multiple women, intimidate them into performing sexual acts with male prostitutes for his own pleasure in curated events called freak-offs. So day one, that's the picture they paint. And so you have to ask yourself, is he a twisted, manipulating sex abuser, or, in white vernacular, a free-spirited swinger? Yeah. And this is only day one. Can you imagine what's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen tomorrow? When we come back, I talked about this about a year ago, 4-day work week. Should America move to a 4-day work week? Well, remember, Iceland approved it. And so now, 6 years later, they now have data as to whether or not it works. When we come back, we'll talk about that. Interested? Would you take a 4-day work week? What would your 4-day work week have to look like in order for you to have a 3-day weekend? And what if your 4 days were different days? We'll talk about all that and more. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey, Truth fam, this is your girl, Melanie Ricks, and I want to remind you to tune into Nothing But the Truth digital show with me, Melanie Ricks, presented by Visit Milwaukee. Every Wednesday at 6 p.m., a new episode drops on the 1017 The Truth YouTube page. And since it is on YouTube, I hold nothing back. I give you all my hot takes on celebrity gossip and give you the tea on relationships that you don't want to miss. Subscribe to 1017 The Truth on YouTube so you never miss Nothing But the Truth digital show, dropping every Wednesday at 6 p.m., presented by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world class.
Hey, Truth Nation, it's your girl DT from The Truth Unfiltered with DT and Dr. Ken Harris. Now listen, at a critical time, through the Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, Old National Bank provided the resources I needed to sustain my business. Now the process had its challenges, but I was supported, and it was also an invaluable learning experience for future ventures. I am so grateful for the support that helped my business thrive. Old National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender, all loans subject to approval.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake. Tee off at the Lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen. Explore stunning shores and historic landmarks. And enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
Hey there,
did you hear? There are still spots open for Girl Scout Summer Camp 2025.
Whether you're into water activities, arts and crafts, sports and games, exploring nature, or even horseback riding, there's a camp just for you.
Choose from GSY's day camps, overnight camps, community day camps, or Camp Hero.
Bring a friend and get ready for a summer full of adventure, friendship, and leadership.
Register today and let's make this the best summer ever, Girl Scout style.
It's 101.7 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now, because you can get up to 6 years of 0% financing at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Yes, no interest for up to 72 months, and the full Pella experience is always included. That means the Pella team is with you from start to finish. They don't disappear after the work is done. Set up your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point. A Pella design expert will listen to your vision and then present the different colors, sizes, and customizations needed to make that vision a reality. It can feel overwhelming to consider what feels like limitless possibilities, but Pella's design team can help narrow those options down for you to create that dream upgrade. Hurry! Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends May 31st, 2025. So visit PellaWI.com today.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Al, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
Well, first of all, I want to say good evening to you and the listeners.
Evening.
But something is bothering me. I understand it's hot and everybody want to drive fast, but I don't understand why they won't never race the Golden Gate. It's a one-way ticket, open enrollment. They don't have to hurt nobody, and they can hurt themselves.
I don't know if they're setting out to purposefully hurt people. I think it's a crash. It's an accident.
Because if you're driving fast, it's already saying you don't have regard for nobody that you affect while you're driving down the street, and you're not going to $1 million business. You're just going to another red light. So rather, cause people, their lives, or people who work 30, 40, 50 years, and they want to do a hit and run and take off with no insurance, just race the Golden Gate. We got another cemetery where they sold the fences back in the 90s, and they will sell them in 3-packs for $90. Just race up in there, because you can go in and don't never have to come out, and everybody can drive in peace.
All right. Thank you much.
Thank you.
833-212-1017 is the number. I don't. What is it we can do about it? We complain when kids get arrested. We complain it was a mistake. We complain because it doesn't touch us. A 90-year-old is dead because somebody was speeding. A mother and a wife is dead because somebody was speeding. What are you going? I almost tried to say two things at the same time. Where are you going, and what are you doing that you need? And contrary to what Al said, I don't care if you're going to $1 million or $1 billion business. There's no reason for you to drive fast and kill people. It's not. It's not. It's not. 833-212-1017 is the number. Coley, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
Hello, brother. I want to take a time back in travel. I want to go back to the 90s under the Clinton administration. I want to remind you, I was around at the time, and I want to remind you of, do you remember when we actually told Canada we wanted to buy drugs cheaper from them, yet develop them here? Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
Remember the Canadian drug buyback plan?
Vaguely.
Do you remember that?
I said vaguely.
Okay, let me remind you. President Clinton signed a bill to buy Canadian drugs cheaper than that were made in America.
Okay.
Okay. Now the reason that backfired is because the Pfizers, the Bayers, the big pharmaceuticals,
right.
The research and development was here. The research and development was here.
Okay. Yet,
we let the manufacturing, and I don't know if it was in China or Canada or whatever, we let that happen. That added cost. The president's solution was to do the Canadian drug buyback plan. Let me tell you. Let me give you at least 2 or 3 reasons.
No, I don't need 2 or 3 reasons. I need, what does that have to do with today? With what Trump signed today about
Listen, brother. Listen, we talking about cheaper drugs.
Okay, so tell me about today. What does that have to do with Trump?
Cheaper drugs. Right? The reason we have to go back is because with all medical innovations and things coming, there's research and development.
Correct, but research and development doesn't cost that much. We're talking about drugs that are already. Let me finish. Yes. We're talking about drugs. Okay, I'm not going to get hollered at. Calm down.
Okay. All right. No, brother. The research and development.
I understand about the research and development. It's not. These drugs are already made. There's no research and development to do.
No, they're not, brother. They're not tested. They're not put on the market.
You're talking about new drugs. We're not talking about new drugs.
I'm talking about all new drugs.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the drugs that we have today that we pay $1,000 here in America. Where in Europe, let me finish. I don't care. I don't need you to tell me why. I understand why. I'm trying to figure out what it is you're saying.
Okay. Let's talk about the process. Most of the time, through trade, undeveloped countries get the drugs for free. They pay nothing into the research. They pay nothing into the market cost.
That's unfortunate.
They pay nothing into.
That's unfortunate.
Huh?
That's unfortunate.
But brother, this is the very point. This is the very point.
What is? Make your point.
Do you give it to the foreign country or do you give it to us?
You give it to the country that can pay for it. It's a business. It's not
for free.
It is not. If you're in a, so here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do.
We're going back to the 90s, brother.
I don't care. We're not in the 90s right now. We're in 2025.
We did the same thing and it didn't work then.
No, we didn't do the same thing. Listen to what I'm saying.
Yes, we did.
You're gonna let me finish? Or you're gonna keep talking? What we doing?
Go ahead and finish.
Thank you. Today, what we're doing, see, we have to remove the I don't like Trump thing and go back and read the.
Let's start with that.
No, we're not. No, you don't tell me what to start with. Okay, I'm done. All right, bye. 833-212-1017 is the number. Thank you for the call, Coley. So let's go back. We were talking about the superstitions and things of that nature that were happening. Itchy palm is my favorite. Grandma always used that. Well, Mao, was your grandmother right though? Like, did your grandmother make money? Did your grandmother make money? Like when your palm itched, did you get some money? Like he's scratching, he itched, you got some money? Right? Don't let a black cat cross your path. Don't walk under ladders. Anybody walk under ladders? Anybody ever walked under a ladder? Do you even notice? Anyway, interesting. The left hand itches, moves monies away, and the right hand itches, then it comes to you. Okay. Curly Q said, yeah, I've heard about cutting the baby's hair. I've heard that my entire life. If your eye twitches, they say something's about to happen, either good or bad. But something's going to happen good or bad anyway. So what? Anyway, that makes absolutely no sense. Shoes on the bed, bad luck. You realize I've never put a pair of shoes on a bed, like ever, and now I know why. Somewhere in the back, are you talking about me? Are you laughing at me? Well, I at least would have thought you was listening if you was laughing at me, but anyway. That's all right. Cut off the light, TV, everything. Like, do you have to sleep in the dark?
Yes.
Really? Wow.
What amount of light would you want to sleep on? I feel like that would disturb your eyes.
Your eyes are closed. How would it disturb your eye?
Light still peers through your eyelids, though.
You got leaky eyelids or something? I mean, never give a pair of scissors as a gift. When gifting someone coins, again, in silverware, can drop. Okay, that don't make no sense. Kathleen, you need to resend that and straighten it out. Don't drop a comb on the floor. You step on it and make a wish. And then what, you use it to comb your hair? Well, that was kind of weird. Wow. That's different. Don't split the pole. Sometimes I make money when my palm itches. Not all the time, though. So then I guess you can cancel that one as a superstition. Curly Q say, no, I can't sleep in the dark. I said that for a thunderstorm. Got to cut everything. See, I can sleep anywhere. Airplane, train, bright light. I can literally sit there, close my eyes. Like right now, if I decided I want to go to sleep, I could close my eyes and go to sleep. Snoring, everything. Light, dark. Now, let me also say, I don't like the dark. When I was growing up, I was afraid of the dark. And now, I don't really care. Pitch black, temperature around 65 to 69 are the perfect combination for a good night's sleep, apparently. Or you just open a window. Curly Q say, I'm asleep before the plane take off. So you don't even get in your seat. You don't even hear the whole, like, you can always tell the pecking order of the flight attendants, because the flight attendant at the bottom is the one holding that idiot buckle, click, and push the button. And then the other person is that. Now, I saw a woman do the entire thing from memory. She just sat there like this with the little speaker, with the phone to her mouth, and literally said the whole thing through. Now, here's the kicker. Because people fly a lot, when you mess up, they know you messed up, and you better correct yourself. People be like, what? That's bad. But yeah, I've only fallen asleep on a plane maybe twice. And it was a transatlantic flight, and it was just too long. And I was like, okay, I'm going to bed. I can't do this. But yeah, I don't like flying over water. I'd rather fly to Europe, where you go around, Canada, Newfoundland, then Greenland, Iceland, all that, and then into the British Isles and down to the Netherlands, and then go to Heathrow. I can't do Hawaii is just terrifying. I flew from Seattle to Hawaii. It took forever. I'm never doing that again. Because there's like Mayday. Okay, so where do you go? Right? We're going to be ditching in the water. And have you ever reached under the seat of a plane and tried to find where that life preserver is? I have. I couldn't find it. I'm like, where is this thing? Your seat is a flotation device. You really think I'm going to be thinking about taking my seat cushion with me? You really think that? Curly Q say, I flew to New York a few weeks ago, and we were taxiing at tarmac for 20 minutes. I fell asleep for 10 of them. Really? The Pacific Ocean scares. It scares me too, Mal. I am terrified of the Pacific Ocean. Atlantic, we kind of go around. There's nowhere, if you're going to Australia, there's absolutely nowhere you can be safe. You're like hours away from dry land. Can't do it. Even though I do want to go to New Zealand. Anybody want to go with me? And by the way, before we go to break, what trip should the Truth Nation take as a group? We put together a trip, and we can go somewhere and take a week or a weekend or something and go somewhere. When we come back, I'm going to tell you where I want to go. And then we'll see. Curly Q say, now you mentioned the flotation advice. Oh, that's right. You're asleep when they're telling you that same information. And now with 101.7 The Truth Traffic, here's Debbie Lazica.
Backups continue along 894 westbound. We have a crash right about at 84th Street that has the left lane blocked. Squad's on the scene with this. Just be extra careful heading through there. It's a tight squeeze. You're going to see delays pretty much from the Mitchell interchange all the way to that point. Southbound on the bypass is hitting the brakes right out of the Zoo interchange all the way down and around the Hale interchange with folks taking a look at what's going on. Once you get past the accident scene on the other side of the wall, you should be fine all the way to the Mitchell. Southbound 43 backing up from just south of Capitol Drive down through the Marquette and over the high-rise. Northbound slowing from Kilbourne all the way up to Keith. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, partly cloudy skies, a few showers later on, a low of 52. Tomorrow, scattered showers, mostly cloudy with a high of 65 at the lake, 74 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With limited incomes not keeping up with the lingering effects of inflation, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
Sponsored by the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Here is Ben Jammin with his truth.
Truth Nation and all the juicy jammers out there, can I be honest? Honest about what? Honest about me. Honest about following your dreams. Matthew 16, verse 26. What is it profit a man to gain the world but lose his soul? I didn't know what I was getting into when my mother birthed me. I never imagined walking out of a job would lead me here. Back in 2017, I was working third shift at a grocery store, hating it. I knew I had to make a change. One day I walked out. No plan, just a leap of faith. 2 months later, I got a job with V100, and it was on and popping. I met Wiz Khalifa, Jerry Springer, Ice Cube, and Charlamagne the God. But in 2020, everything changed. COVID hit, and I was furloughed. But it gave me clarity. Clarity on who I was, who my real friends were, and what I truly wanted. After 8 months, I got an opportunity with 101.7 The Truth. I got the chance to speak on air, and things took off. I started as a producer, and now I'm the host of Jammin' with Juice. I've spoken with the White House, NBA All-Stars, and even killed an unreleased track with one of your favorite rappers. Through it all, I remained vulnerable with you, Truth Nation, especially after losing my dad. But here's the truth. It's not just about following your dreams. It's about preparing for them. What you want to happen is going to happen. But if you're not ready for it, you have to watch it pass you by. As a great prophet once said, you only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. So if it wasn't for the divine timing of the George Floyd assassination, the time that I took for myself to become greater, or the vision of the CEO of our company, 101.7 The Truth, or myself wouldn't be here. So I'll call it divine timing. I can tell you to follow your dreams, but it's much better if you prepare for them.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Listen to Jammin' with Juice with Ben Jammin and Carrie Noni weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
This is Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth. It's powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. After losing the first two games of the series in Tampa Bay against the Rays, the Milwaukee Brewers are able to bounce back on Sunday, winning Game 3, this one by a final score of 4-2.
I mean, this environment is tough. Threatening rain all the time. The mound's rugged. It's just a different environment than they're used to. So I'm proud we're in every game.
Over to the NBA, where ESPN's Shams Charania reporting that no firm decisions have been made, but for the first time in his career, Giannis is, quote, open unminded about whether his best fit is remaining in Milwaukee or playing elsewhere.
He is the biggest domino in the NBA right now. He's a 30-year-old in the prime of his career, and his potential availability is something that all 29 teams outside of Milwaukee are monitoring.
Also around the NBA, the Pacers taking a 3-1 lead over the Cavs with a 129-109 win, and the Thunder evening up their series against Denver, winning 92-87. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Spit on a broom if you sweep someone's feet. Huh? Point at a graveyard, you gotta bite your finger. Ooh, there's some silly ones. There's some silly ones. Curly, you say, I never thought to try that. Well, I mean, I don't want to access it, but I just want to know it's there. There's a flotation device underneath your seat. Where? Like, where? Like, I'm literally sitting in the seat, so I got to get up. Like, how do I get it? Do I have to move this? Like, I'm a little too pragmatic. I think that's what the problem is. Like, if I can't see it, I ain't gonna really worry about it. I'm not. I am not. It's like, ain't nothing you can do. There is absolutely nothing you can do. 4-day work week, y'all. So the 4-day work week, they tested in Iceland. And, well, it began in 2015, 2,500 employees, 1% of the work population. Today, almost 90% of Icelandic workers benefit from a reduced work week of 36 hours compared to 40 previously, with no loss in pay. Initial concern was like, we're going to get lazy, drop in productivity. There's been no drop in productivity. Reports show that productivity has remained stable and even increased in some sectors. One of the keys to this success lies in improving the mental health of workers, a crucial aspect highlighted by Generation Z. The reduction in stress, combined with better work-life balance, has had a significant positive impact on employee well-being. You think that would ever fly here in America, a 4-day week? Less stress, more job satisfaction, more time to enjoy life. 4-day work week. 833-212-1017 is the number. Would you work a 4-day work week? Would you prefer a 4-day work week where you can actually, so let me see. Now, here's what you do. You work a 9-hour day, right? Because you get an hour lunch. You work 4 8 hours a day. 4 days. That's 4 9-hour days, and then you're done. So you might work like 8 to 5. 9 to 6. But then when you're done, you're done. I would do that. I've worked 10-hour days and had 3 days off. I actually prefer to work a 12-hour day 3 days a week. That's my 36 hours and I'm out. And then take 4 days off. That's what I would do. I think that would work. But would you work a 36-hour week? YouTube chat said, I would love to have an extra weekday free for appointments. Yep. I would personally just do it the second shift, right? Like, hey, my business opens at 5 and we close at midnight. And I would take all those people that don't have time to do all that stuff, go to the doctor, nurse, everything. 833-212-1017 is the number. Carolyn, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Hey, Dr. Ken, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. I would love to work a 4-day weekend. I used to work a 4-day weekend. I worked 10 hours a day,
right?
4 days a week. Love
okay. And then you were off for 3. Now, did you work, what days during the week did you work, or did they rotate?
No, I was off on Friday, so I was off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay. So you were off on the days you wasn't going to get nothing done anyway.
Well, no, I would never say that because I'm a hard worker.
Okay.
But it did help me mentally and stuff because that gave me more time to like spend with my family and call my family in California because like right now and stuff, it's only like 4 there and I'm getting ready to go and retire. By the time they get off of work, I'll be in bed.
But
so, yeah, it was nice.
But see, this would only work with salaried employees because some people don't understand. You'd have to have a contract that allowed you to work 10-hour days with no overtime. And some people complain about that. But if I'm giving you 3 days off, then I think 10 hours a day is with no overtime is okay.
Especially if you're salary. Because, see, this is the thing I don't get about salary employees and stuff. Now, mind you, I'm a salary employee, right? If I miss a day, I'm not going to get the same pay, but they say I'm a salary employee.
Say that again?
I'm a salary employee, right?
Right.
So if I miss a day, they're going to deduct that day from my salary.
Okay. All right.
And I'm like, I always thought if you're a salary employee, you get your salary even if you miss a day. But I guess I was wrong.
Correct. All right. Well, thank you much, ma'am. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. Take care.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 1017 The Truth's Kyle Wallace, and I am Milwaukee. I take great pride in being a 414 boy and representing the city that I love. The great memories I have of going to Northtown Cinema to see movies with family and friends, to going to Capitol Court to see the Black Santa Claus, this city has helped shape me into the man that I am today, and I pledge to utilize my voice as a way to advocate for you in our community. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
The Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, we're talking about up to $5 million, which for small business owners, we need that. That's like payroll, that's resources. So can you just let us know what is the program and why is this lending program so important to Old National Bank?
Years ago, our CEO, Jim Ryan, this program is his brainchild. He was working with Roland Shelton, who you know, Denise, out of Evansville, and they identified that African-American business owners, Hispanic business owners, Native American business owners, as well as women business owners had a difficult time in obtaining financing from the traditional credit partners. And so we went out, created a program, launched it last year in 2023. And so far last year, we have helped over 100 successful minority and women-owned businesses with about $25 million in loans. We've already started this year with almost $8 million in approvals, again, geared toward minority business owners and women business owners that normally had difficulties in obtaining traditional credit finance.
It's 1017 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now because you can get up to 6 years of 0% financing at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Yes, no interest for up to 72 months and the full Pella experience is always included. That means the Pella team is with you from start to finish. They don't disappear after the work is done. Set up your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point. A Pella design expert will listen to your vision and then present the different colors, sizes, and customizations needed to make that vision a reality. It can feel overwhelming to consider what feels like limitless possibilities, but Pella's design team can help narrow those options down for you to create that dream upgrade. Hurry! Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends May 31st, 2025. So visit PellaWI.com today.
When
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Seriously injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
And we made it. Day one. Interesting things. We're going to be watching out for the Diddy trial. We got some changes that are coming with prescription drugs. We're going to be watching that. A couple lawsuits going through the Supreme Court. All sorts of things happening this week. Tomorrow, got to remind me, we got to talk about this Catholic Charities issue here in Wisconsin. They're suing their auditor and a staffer for stealing money. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Truth Unfiltered is coming up at 6 o'clock from 6 to 8. So make sure you hang around. I'll be continuing to talk about some things that have happened over the weekend and last week and all those great things. DT and Dr. Ken will brighten your evening. God bless. Take care. Thank you, Glenn. Appreciate you. I'm out.
Be quiet.